Dawn breaks over Palm Cove, and this sleepy tropical paradise is about to explode. Welcome to the 1999 JAL Half Ironman Triathlon. Sit back and relax as we take you on a fast-paced tour through some of the most breathtaking scenery around. And this is where it all starts. It's standing room only as over 200 competitors jostle for position, all awaiting a challenge that will see many push to the limit of their endurance. Professionals and amateurs tackling one of the most beautiful triathlon circuits with one hell of a tough task. Swim nearly 2 kilometres, bike ride for 90 and run just over 21 kilometres. Not bad for a day's work. But before the athletes hit the water, let's take a quick look at paradise.
Palm Cove is without a doubt one of the most tranquil settings in the tropical far north. Situated just 15 minutes north of Cairns, this picturesque holiday spot is popular among locals and visitors for its ocean views and cosmopolitan lifestyle. The Golden Strip features boutique shops and some of the best dining around, with restaurants and cafes spread right along the foreshore. And if it's accommodation you need, Palm Cove has some of the best hotels you'll ever find, with the Reef House and the Courtyard Marriott right on the doorstep. Palm Cove, easy to get to, but very, very hard to leave.
Getting back to the race, and now let's take a look at who makes up the professional contingent in this year's JAL Half Ironman Triathlon. Last year's winner Craig Alexander has a point to prove. He's keen to defend his title and won't be taking the task easy against a class field. I'm
prepared well for it this year, and it's probably something I focus more on this year, whereas last year it was probably not my top priority. So I'm looking forward to it. I think I can go well again.
Chippy Slater's one guy who you can bet will be among the leaders. The popular veteran is a triathlon regular who just loves to compete. And the first of the Kiwi contingent, Scott Ballance, is regarded as one of the most laid-back athletes going round. He's a consistent performer who's visiting the tropical north for the first time. Turning to the women's field, and there's no shortage of talent there either. 1997 winner Robyn Roocke will be looking to return to form this year after a solid build-up overseas. And triathlon golden girl Nici Andronicus is using the race in her push to get back to top form, and will be one to watch as they hit the bikes.
I've actually had a long period of injury, so I've spent a lot of time just building back up from injuries and getting ready for this race in particular. I haven't got anything outstanding in the last 6 months, so this is hopefully what's going to be the highlight of my year.
Well, the pros are preparing to hit the water, and we can expect to see a fight for position early. Cairns Mayor Tom Pine has the pistol in hand, and they're off. Out of a mass of thrashing arms and bobbing heads, Alexander took the lead early, but as was tipped, Slater wasn't far away. In the women's, Roocke initially dropped off the pace. Local girl Leanda caved Townsvillian Lisa Vanska and Andronicus left the race favourite in their wake. On the way to shore, Alexander hit the beach first, followed closely by Burleigh Heads triathlete Reece Rackley and Chippy Slater right in the thick of things. Now it was a case of get in quick and get out even faster as the transition from swim to bike took place. The bike course is designed to challenge even the best riders, with a strip along the Captain Cook Highway winding its way up the coast. Riders travel 30 kilometres north to the Minolta Bidon exchange point near Oak Beach, and from there they head back towards the city of Cairns and onto Fogarty Park for the run transition. From the get-go, the men's bike leg became a race between Slater and Alexander, with Canberra triathlete Simon Thompson making good time. Racers had hardly a moment to take in the glorious coastline, with the leaders setting a cracking pace. The Captain Cook Highway winding its way along some of the best views in the country, the challenging strip sorting out the field as the leaders broke away. In the the men's, Alexander and Slater duelled up and down the coast, with neither able to draw away through the winding stretch. The two exchanged positions 16 times during the bike leg. As Alexander pulled away, Slater hit back. Further behind, Simon Thompson struck trouble at the turn, and it became clear that he was fighting a losing battle with fatigue and not just the leaders. In the women's, Nici Andronicus and Vanska continued their duel for number one. Not far behind, Belinda, Cheney and Leanda, both pushing hard to make ground on the leaders. But the big mover was 97 winner Robyn Roocke. She closed in on Andronicus in time to cash in on a stroke of luck. Roocke fought hard to work her way into the lead, with Vanska not far behind. They stayed that way for the ride into Cairns, while in the men's the battle continued. Last year's winner Craig Alexander heading off Slater as the weather took an unseasonal change, the challenge continuing in the race to the final transition. The 21-kilometre run leg takes competitors along the Esplanade in 3 loops and around through Fogarty Park. While the run is mostly flat, high humidity is expected to be the athletes' biggest hurdle as they push hard to the finish line. Before we head into the home straight though, let's take a moment to showcase what the capital of the tropical north has to offer.
The Diamond of the Far North, Cairns is considered one of the most popular tourist spots in the country. It's got the lot: nightlife, natural beauty and cultural heritage. Surrounded by rainforests with beautiful bushwalks and scenic views, and the world-famous Great Barrier Reef only a short boat ride away. Whether you're here for a long or short time, it's easy to see why so many people stay. Tropical Cairns, what a place to holiday.
As the athlete stretched out along the Esplanade, Slater knew if he was going to win the race, the time to make a move was now. The crowds gathered to cheer them on as they fought for first along the shoreline, but as Slater reached deep for something special, it was Alexander who kicked. Last year's champion, sensing Slater was beginning to tire, and that's when the gap began to widen. Further back, South African triathlete Patrick Hofer was making a surprise move. He'd ridden hard on the bike to move into the top 5, and by the run was making a challenge for third. In the women's, it was all Roocke as she surged along the Esplanade, leaving Vanska, who was struggling with fatigue, in her tracks. Nici Andronicus had run the race of her life since buckling a wheel on the bike leg. She overtook a tired Vanska and moved strongly into second. Vanska continued to battle cramps on the final lap, but dropped back even further as Belinda Cheney cruised by. But the day belonged to Craig Alexander and Robyn Roocke, the two crossing the line for resounding victories, Slater taking second in the men's, while it was an exhausted Andronicus in the women's.
I think to win the same race a year later is a bit of an accomplishment, you know, different set of circumstances and different field, different guys, and I'm very happy.
It was good to get off the bike first and having a strong run. You know, just hope that I didn't fall apart and keep my lead.
By early afternoon, the last athletes had crossed the line, meeting their own personal challenges head-on. While there's always plenty of focus on the professional entrants, interest in the event is growing among amateurs as well, many combining the race with a tropical holiday, cashing in on the region's ideal climate at this time of the year. Athletes coming from as far as New Zealand, Guam and Japan for the event, and with this kind of support, organisers claim it can only get better. For the pros, however, the JAL is part of their qualifying regime, an essential lead-up to the Australian Ironman event in Forster, New South Wales. After a hectic day on the course, athletes, organisers and families soaked up the best in Palm Cove atmosphere at the Courtyard Marriott Resort. While the victors claimed their spoils, everyone was a winner, with the best in food and comfort laid on for the hotel's honoured guests. The next day, many took part in the chance of a lifetime, taking a tour to the Great Barrier Reef on Sun Lover cruises and kicking back in the tropical splendour. Finally, let's take a look at how they finished in this year's JAL Half Ironman Triathlon. In the men's, Craig Alexander made it back-to-back, finishing with a time of 3 hours 57 minutes. Chippy Slater was second, Jarrod Brauer won the battle for third, Patrick Hofer fourth and Simon Thompson fifth. In the women, South Australian Robyn Roocke claimed first, Nici Andronicus second, Belinda Cheney third, Kim Beckinsale fourth and Tania Brannan beat Lisa Vanska to the line for fifth. And before we go, let's take a final look at what this year's event was all about.